Okay, perfect. Where were you last night?
I know I didn't realize I was getting expected.
Oh, that was,
I'm sure your show was actually way more fun. It was fun. I was already tired by the end.
bro. It was insane. It
It was,
was,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it was last night especially.
That's what I didn't realize. I saw you last night. I thought you were there.
Bro, it was insane. It was so
Except it was
good.
excellent.
Test, 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 test,
Major,
test. I don't hear
major.
anything. Test, 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 test. If I go like test, test, test. Good morning, good morning. Okay, great. Thank you. I do, yeah, yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
You know how many people were on the show?
Testing. Good morning.
You Ella?
L, yeah.
Ellie?
L. Nice to meet you. Test, test.
Faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Just like Daniel in the lion's den. Faith can move mountains. Just like Jonah in the belly of the whale. Faith can move mountains. Daniel in the lion's den. Faith can move mountains. Just like Jonah in the belly of the whale. Faith can move mountains. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, tossed in the fire, but they never got burned. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were tossed in the fire, but they never got burned. Tossed in the fire, but they never got burned. Tossed in the fire, but they never got burned. Tossed in the fire. It was faith in Jah. 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 'Cause faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Whoa, faith can move mountains. Faith in Jah. Everyone. Faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Faith in Jah. Faith in Jah. Faith in Jah. Faith in Jah. Tell me who is gonna help, I praise Jehovah. Tell me who is gonna help, I praise Jehovah. Tell me who is gonna help, I praise Jehovah. Tell me who is gonna help, I praise Jehovah. One more time. 'Cause faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Faith can move mountains. Faith in Jah. Faith in Jah. Faith in Jah. Faith in Jah.
Welcome to New Thought Center, and thank you so much, Sakshi. Am I saying that correctly? Welcome. He's our wonderful musician today. We are so blessed on this gorgeous Hawaii morning. And I am Vayana, and we usually start our Sunday services with a reading from the Science of Mind magazine. So if you'd like to come up and share that with us.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Ramona. After that song, feels so good to be here with you. So I'm reading from the Science of Mind magazine, and this is something that was started by who? Huh? Yeah, a long time ago, in what, the 40s, right? 30s or 40s, yeah. And yeah, so has to do with the legacy of Ernest Holmes and his inspirations and meditations and discoveries. So this morning, this one is called Hope and Acceptance. But do your thing, and I shall know you. That's from Emerson's Essays, page 38. We should be careful to distinguish daydreaming and wasteful wishing from really dynamic and creative treatment. Science of Mind, page 399. I had a teacher of spiritual practices who liked to say that hope pushed things off into the future, while acceptance drew objects and outcomes to us. Technically, I agree, especially if we misunderstand the power in hope. To accept something in advance of having it does indeed lay a claim to ownership, especially if we can cast a mental image of what we wanted. But hope does have its place in spiritual practices, particularly when something desirable seems hard to imagine. A good dose of hope recognizes possibilities when this is the best we can do. Then we accept the creation of an outcome. The infinite presence is ever willing to bring us what our hearts desire, if there is no obstruction in our receptivity. The world of affairs often cannot help us with this because the objects before us suggest that a desired thing cannot come to pass. It is then that hope becomes a good mental tool. We can open a closed mental door when we vault past the seeming obstacle with hope showing possibility. With the openness provided by hope, We can then embrace what we desire with a strong acceptance of it. Life is full of possibilities which can make their ways into circumstances that become real. It may take courage on our parts, diligence in thought, and persistence in spiritual practices, but surely a full life is worth the effort. And the affirmation, which I will read once through, and then we will read it I will read it and you will say it together. The divine good fulfills me, always has, always will, and I access it every day. I am devoted to my practices, and I trust in the power of a hopeful mind full of acceptance. The divine good fulfills me,
Good fulfills me.
always has, always will,
Always has, always will.
and I access it every day.
And I access it every day.
I am devoted to my practices,
I am devoted to my practices,
and I trust in the power of a hopeful mind,
and I trust in the power of a hopeful mind,
full of acceptance.
full of acceptance.
And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you for Ramona. For those of you who are here for the first time, just so you know, we have different people read each week, and we have different people speak to us. Wisdom keepers from around the world come and speak here every week, and different musicians come every week, and we are blessed by a really loving community that attracts and magnetizes incredible, incredible wisdom keepers. So that is what we're blessed with today. Thank you, Ramona. We're also interfaith, so you can see if you can see the logo in the back, all different traditions are honored here, and we're grateful that you're here. So in honor of our very different traditions that we all bring to this moment, we usually have just a moment to drop into whatever tradition you're from, silently, quietly in your space, if you'd welcome. If you'd like to drop in to wherever it is that you go when you drop into your essence, your center, and you're either meditating or praying or whatever you're up to. Some of you dance. Half of you this morning were blissed out and in a totally different realm from the music that was being played earlier. We do that once a month with the crystal bowls. And so half of you are already in that state. The other half of us have a moment. We'll just take about a minute to just drop into the center of who you know you are, and maybe to places you haven't even met. Allow your open-heartedness today to bring the wisdom that you carry to this moment and bring yourself fully here. So we'll just take a moment of silence to allow each of us to drop in. Sakshi, would you like to bring us back with a song? Thank you.
Roots so deep, roots so strong, roots hold on forever, hold on. Roots so deep, roots so strong, roots hold on forever, hold on. And as I walk this road to holy strong like your lion. And as I walk this road to holy Mount Zion, eternal be thy faith, and we got to carry on. In this Armageddon, stand strong like your lion. Carry on. In this Armageddon, stand strong like your lion. Carry on. In this Armageddon, with clean hands and a heart so pure, ever had faith like this before. Clean hands and a heart so pure, for never is a gateway to Zion's door. Clean hands and a heart so pure, ever had faith like this before. Clean hands and a heart so pure, for narrow is the pathway to Zion's door. Roots so deep, roots so strong, roots hold on forever, hold on. Roots so deep, roots so strong, roots hold on forever, hold on. Stretch forth thy soul to Amma, stretch forth thy soul, stretch forth thy soul to the Abba, stretch forth thy soul, stretch forth thy hands, O Amma, stretch forth thy hands, stretch forth thy hands to the Abba, stretch forth thy hands. Stand firm on solid ground, let your roots go way deep down. Have no fear, for the earthly mother is here. Let your wisdom fill your soul, for the living word is being told. Stand up high, for the heavenly Father is nigh. Roots so deep, roots so strong, roots hold on forever, hold on. Roots so deep, roots so strong, roots hold on forever, hold on. Hold on forever, hold on. Hold on forever, hold on.
Some of you may notice we're doing this sign language applause, and if you way up, that's a standing ovation. And we're doing that because the tradition here at New Thought so far is, hey, welcome, is to allow kind of the music to continue on through our hearts without interrupting it through a bunch of clapping. But please don't let that stop you from jumping up and dancing. So there's plenty of room in the back if you feel like dancing. It happens from time to time. So I wanted to now welcome each of you. Not everybody has been here before, and this is a unique experience, and we're really excited to have Elle Luna here with us today, which I'll be introducing her shortly, to give us an amazing wisdom pearl that she has developed over the years and is going to be sharing and has changed my life. So, and as you were singing, Sakshi, this is my first time meeting you. As you were singing about roots, I looked at your hair and I felt like you were this big banyan tree. And your hair was like trying to be rooted. And it was the first time I'd ever experienced dreadlocks that way. And I'm really grateful for that, as I'm trying to be more rooted in my life. So now we get to do some introductions. And how we're going to do that today. We usually pass the microphone around so everybody gets to say their name if you want to. And then Elle is going to model for us a question and an answer. And we request, since there's about 20 or so of us, we request that if you could keep your answer to 1 to 2 words, that would help us get through, all of us getting to know each other. And so I'm going to pass the baton to her, and then I'll pass the mic around, and we'll just pass it around like this. So we can each say our name, and then we can answer the question in 1 or 2 words. So, Elle, what is the question?
Good morning. The prompt that you're going to answer is a weather report. So an example could be blue skies or chance of showers later. My introduction, I'll go first. My name is Elle, and my weather report is Pele is about to dance.
My name is Sakshi. My weather report is the sun is always shining.
Kaimana, it's beautiful.
I'm Patty. Everything's beautiful.
Aloha, I'm Tiare. Sunny and clear with blue skies, chance of rainbows.
Hey.
I'm Don, and to me, it's not visual, it's sound. It's the sound of nature. Thunderstorms, wind, the quiet of the gentle breeze and the bamboo.
Barca, misting rain.
I was going to do the exact same thing. I'll say calm winds and soft landings.
Sun and pockets of gray clouds. Jamie. Oh, totally spaced.
Anon is my name, and Anon is my weather report. Anon means cloud.
I'm Kathy, and double rainbows.
Leah, sunshine on water.
Johnny, clear.
Y'all are tough. It's a tough crowd. But I'm new here, so I'll just say the volcano is erupting and a chance of fog. Bob.
And I'm Mary with Bob. As close to paradise as I can imagine.
Alex, chance of showers.
Woody or Yehuda, moon glow on the sea.
Aviva, sunny, cloudy, rainy with a chance of rainbows.
Ramona, gray clouds over steel blue, silver ocean, drawing me into mystery, and then punctuated by a brilliant rainbow.
Peace Eagle. Peace Eagle. Paley speaks to me every time she raises her flame. She speaks to me every time.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Tony. I would say sunshine on the water, blue skies, ready to sail.
Tiana, the whales were slapping and barking last night.
I'm Stephen,
an amazing, beautiful sunrise.
And I'm Viana, and I would say mist, like magical mists of fairy gardens. All right. So now we get another song. Are you up for that, Saksha? Or Sakshi? I didn't say it right.
Thank you. So much so that I pretty much shot my voice last night. My voice is a little scratchy today. I sang really hard last night. We had an amazing show at Around the Cava Bowl with Dre Z Melody from New Mexico, and it was an incredible show. So that's why my voice is a little, but I'm doing my best. Thank you. I invite you guys to sing along with this one. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Walking with the angels, chanting glory, hallelujah. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Everyone. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Walking with the angels, chanting glory, hallelujah. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Walking with the angels, chanting glory, hallelujah. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. One more time. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Walking with the angels, chanting glory, hallelujah. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time. One more time. Gonna have a grand time over in Zion. Have a grand time.
Wonderful. Thank you. Great dancing back there, guys. Okay, now my favorite part of the whole shebang. No, Al, I have to say, music and Al. But for fun, let's share, as a community sometimes does, about our lives. And one fun way to do that is to highlight a little detail that you felt might have been a miracle in your life lately that we may or may not know about, and also what we call ordinaries, because miracles sometimes are quite ordinary, and they're all around us all the time. And focusing our attention on what ordinary might be a miracle is a fun way to share our gratitude and our lives with each other. So if anybody would like to come up, and I'll put the microphone here for you to share a short ordinary or miracle, then we'll get to know you better. It's easy to fall in love with people when they share their lives with us. Easier. Are you coming up here, Kathy? Is that you heading to the microphone? Excellent.
Thank you. Hello. I'm Kathy, and I've had a lot of miracle and ordinaries. So many in the past couple of weeks that I didn't even know which one to get up here and speak about. So coming to New Thought has brought such peace into my heart, because you can be authentic here. It's a safe place. And I had a near-death experience, 2 of them actually. One when I was 6 years old and one when I was 21. I won't go into what that is, but people are coming to me that have had near-death experiences. And I've used Facebook for my voice. And I don't know why my husband and I are on this island, but we were definitely brought here for a purpose. And what I kept hearing, and what I've been told by many psychics, is that I'm to raise the vibration of love. Now, I don't know how to do that, but coming here has taught me how to do that, and how to set an intention for love. And in order to have love, you have to have empathy. You really do. Because without empathy, you can't have understanding. Without understanding, you can't have justice. And without justice, you can't have peace. So I've become friends with a Hawaiian who goes way back. And he is related to the chief of Oahu. And I've learned much about the unfairness and the atrocities that have been done to the Hawaiians and how they've been silenced. And I believe that part of my purpose to raise the vibration of love is to actually be a salve from the Haole to the Hawaiian. And it means taking accountability and honoring their wound. And so my husband has been sick, and I'll tie this together in a second. And it was my friend Kaylee's birthday yesterday. And I'm being punished on Facebook until January 13th. I can only post on my page, and I can't comment, because I actually posted about voting being the voting records in South Carolina. The judge, Diane Goodstein, stopped the administration from getting the Democrat records, and her house was burned to the ground, and her husband is in the hospital, and her son is in the hospital. So I was violated community standards. So here's my friend Kaylee's birthday, and I can't post happy birthday because you've meant the world to me. You've taught me about Hawaiian laws, and he's a healer. I mean, he lived in Waipio, and he farmed taro. He's been a cowboy, a paniolo on Parker Ranch. He is connected to all of the medicines, Hawaiian medicines. And I'm like, if I wanted to say happy birthday to anybody, I want to say it to you. So I did it through the Messenger app. And so, but here's what happened. Last night, and for those of you who are kind of having trouble, the world's chaotic, we found on Pandora, it's a vibrational station, and it really helps to ground and reset and rebalance. And so my husband last night were calmly listening to this, and I was starting to pray and set an intention for his healing. And what I'm about to tell you is true, and I'm in a safe place, so I'm going to say it. I looked over at him lying on the couch, and all of a sudden, these tiles, these beautiful, beautiful tiles, iridescent, gold and brown, and all these beautiful golden hues, started to swirl around his body in a figure 8. And I swear I heard in my head, this is my gift to you for my birthday, for healing for your husband. And I saw around the figure 8, you know, on the Hawaiian airplane, there's the Eskimo. Well, it was like that, but it was a Hawaiian, okay? So there was this head, and I know my husband's going to be okay. But I really believe that when we set an intention from our highest heart, there's healing that happens. And my friend Kaylee sent that to me. I know he did.
Would someone else like to share a miracle or an ordinary?
Thank you, Kathy. That was very profound. It's always hard to go after that kind of beautiful, healing, loving, sharing energy. So this is both a miracle and an ordinary at one time. Our scheduled musician was Jeremy Evans, thank you. Jeremy Evans. And I got a text from him or an email a couple of days ago that his partner got in a auto accident and he needed to stay and attend to her. So so prayers goes out to them, good thoughts, good outcomes, healing for them, both. He was to be our very first time here, so we're still looking forward to having him back when everything is healed and well. So immediately I'm thinking, okay, and I had been texting back and forth with Atish and Sakshi, and actually Atish had texted me, I think, and I looked down, there was her text, and I texted and said, hey, can you guys come on Sunday? I know it's short notice, but she said, I can't, I have an obligation doing Seva, I believe, and I'll ask Sakshi. So I'm there trying to respond to her, and then she says, yes, you can do it. So thank you to you, especially after last night. We'll try to support you all we can. I'm very grateful, and it's always a joy to have you and the upbeat energy and songs. So thank you all very much, and turn it over.
Would someone else like to share an ordinary or a miracle? Just had two people come in. Please, Pasha.
Okay, now this is going to bring it really down to earth. Because my husband commented to me one time recently, you know, we have to have our feet on the ground and our consciousness in the heavens. Okay, so the first thing that happened when I arrived at New Thought today was the resident manager told me there was a plumbing problem. And it's not directly impacting New Thought, but because New Thought owns one of the 10 units of Poolani Terrace, we're automatically a member of the association, and I'm the liaison. So anyway, it's the miracle is it's resolved, and I'm able to come back and be fully at New Thought. But it was like, what I realized is partly, like Kathy said, New Thought teaches us basically to be better people. So I'm connected with pretty much everybody, you know, the resident manager, the owner of the unit above where the water's leaking, the renter in whose office it was leaking. So I'm sort of like tying I'm like the hub to be able to connect all these people so they can communicate, so they can solve the problem. The other thing I thought about was Pomaikai, who's sitting over there with that beautiful lei. I remember about 10 or 15 years ago, there was a situation where someone had forgotten something at New Thought, and she was heading for her home in Waimea. Well, Pomai pulled out her phone and contacted the person who had forgotten something and was on her way to Waimea so that she could turn back before she had gotten too far. And at that time, that seemed like such a miracle to me. Like, how could a person do that with their phone, you know, that form of that instant communication and solve the problem with just consciousness, basically. Well, anyway, now I've learned. I still have lots of things I can't do with technology, but at least I've learned those kind of skills. So thank you, Pomai. Thank you, for resident manager David. Thank you, everybody else. And now I'm back at New Thought.
Oh. Pomaikai is sharing that she had a flip phone. Pasha is one of our founding members here, pretty much, and she's been here for decades, holding the structure of this space, including the plumbing. And we all know how important plumbing is, metaphorically and physically. So thank you very, very much for all that you've created to make it possible for us to be here this morning, Pasha. Was there another wanted to share? That's some burning share that wants to come up and share a little bit of your ordinary or miraculous life with us? Okay. So I'll share a little something of the influence that you all had on my mother when she came to visit a couple of years ago. So I grew up in a very as some of you know, a fundamental Christian home, and my mother is still very fundamental Christian. Well, when she was here on Easter Sunday, we had jazz, I think, was playing, and he made up a song at that moment out of his head, it turned out. And we had just heard the Lord's Prayer sung in Aramaic from a whirling dervish, which was incredibly powerful. Some of you know him. And Alfredo. And then Jazz just started to play a little song, Jesus loves the little Muslims, all the Muslims of the world. And it's like, wow, everything just opened up. Like, this is an open-air church, an open-minded church. And so the miracle is this. My mom is like 82 now, and she decided to learn the computer well enough recently that she could write her first book. And her first book, since that moment with all of you, is all about the Essenes and their rootedness and how they relate to Jesus and how they influence Jesus, which is a very open-minded thing to do, and to write a book at 82. So she's really excited about that, and that's a huge miracle to share with her. So I wanted to share your influence on my mother and how it's going to influence the world in beautiful ways. Okay. So now I have the privilege of introducing Elle Luna, who's like a sister from another mother to me. And I was introduced to her from Jen Leidy, she's here, one of my favorite storytellers on the planet. And they get together once a month to do story time at Elle Luna's farm, and it's extraordinary. Magic, high magic. So I wanted to introduce her because she's one of the most extraordinary people I know, and she continually inspires my right brain to expand and become more and more creative. And I'm always looking for people that light me up that way. And her book, actually, she'll be sharing a little bit about her book with you today. And I've read the whole thing in one sitting because I couldn't put it down. And it did that to me. It just, big light bulbs going off in my right brain. And I'm trying to cultivate my right brain more and more, as some of us do. So I want to tell you a little bit about her. Her extraordinary amazingness is that she has facilitated a global art movement called the 100-Day Project, where participants created a post, like a Facebook or an Instagram post, every day for 100 days. And it's an art movement. So imagine the beauty of that. She's played a key role in shaping some of and defining some of the products and applications for places like Google, Media Lab, MIT's Media Lab, Uber, Medium, Mailbox, and IDEO. So her left brain is very active as well, but as a designer, you had to bring your right brain to it. Amazing. And after years as a designer, Elle faced her own crossroads, and crossroads is going to be a theme today. In a powerful Medium post that went viral, Elle described the realization that despite her professional success, that she really just loved to paint. Step by step, while continuing to work full-time as a designer, as some of us do, stay in our day jobs for a while, she walked her path toward becoming an artist and pursuing what she calls her must. And that she'll be telling us all about her must today. Because the book that she wrote is called The Crossroads of Should and Must. And that was published in 2015. She has lots of copies today, so I highly recommend getting one. She explains in that book that there are two paths. There's the path of should and the path of must. And we arrive at the crossroads over and over again every day, and we get to choose. In 2018, she released her second book, co-authored with Susie Herrick. It's called Your Story is Your Power. Free Your Feminine Voice. That's right up my alley. A potently instructive toolkit on self-examination, it lays out how properly understanding the stories that we tell ourselves about ourselves informs greater agency and better futures. We've heard that talk here before a few times. which is my favorite topic. And she currently lives right here in Kealakekua on her farm and also spends time in San Francisco. And we're welcoming her family today. Thank you for being here, Alex and Bob and Mary. Thank you. All the way from Texas, her parents have come in. So we're excited to learn from you and share your wisdom. So take it away, Elle Luna.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Oh, my goodness. Wow. Thank you. This is beautiful. Did you make this? Oh, beautiful. Wow. Test, test. How's the mic? Test, test. Good? Good? Okay. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. Sound good? Sound is good? Yeah. And thank you for the beautiful lay. Before I start with this cute little pig and what I wanted to share today, I just wanted to thank Pasha. I wanted to thank you. Vayana, I wanted to thank you. The whole team that makes this magically come together. It seems so effortless. It's a lot of work. And they not only hold all of the logistics, but they do it with a lot of kindness. So thank you. As Vayana shared, in 2013, I shared this essay online called The Crossroads of Should and Must. And back then, I posted things online every day, all the time. And the spirit of this was really no different. Except something about this post happened that had never happened with anything I had put online. And within about a week, it was read by over 1 million people. So I realized I had struck a nerve with this decision making. And I decided to extend the post into a larger essay, and eventually it became a book by the same name. And I have a couple copies over in the back if you want to go check it out after the talk. But today I wanted to go back and share where it all started. And then I thought I would talk about what I'm up to now, and how this crossroads kind of works its way through one person's life over some time. My story really starts with a dream, a recurring dream. Raise your hand if you've had a recurring dream. Yes? Oh, strong dreamers in this crowd. I had a recurring dream about a white room. And in the dream, I would walk into this room with very tall white windows, or tall white walls, and warehouse windows, and a cement floor. And I would go into this room, and I would sit down just like Pasha right here, and I would be filled with the most unbelievable sense of peace and calm. I had this dream over and over again, and a close friend asked me the question that really turned my life inside out. She said, "Have you ever thought about looking for your dream in real life?" And I thought, no, that sounds nuts, no way. And then I began to consider it. Why not? Why not look for your dream in real life? So I had to ask this question. When you decide to look for your dreams in real life, where do you go? Where do you even start? You go to Craigslist. I didn't type this in the search box, but I basically typed this right into the search box. And I kept looking on Craigslist day in and day out, and I felt like magic was afoot. One day, I saw it right there on the screen. The white room from my dreams was a warehouse for rent in San Francisco. And there was an open house the very next week, of course. I went to the open house. I put in my application. I got the white room. I moved in 2 weeks later. And on my very first night there, I sat in the room and I totally freaked out. I looked around and I thought, what am I doing? What is this all about? And so, I mean, I think I was being really initiated. I decided to ask the room that had called me to it. I said, "Hey, why am I here?" And as clear as day, the room replied, "It's time to paint." Now, I had painted all the time as a kid. I painted in high school, I painted in college. My mom can tell you all about it after the talk. But somewhere along the way, I just sort of forgot about it. It wasn't a big deal. I just sort of forgot. You know, I went to school, I became a graphic designer, I started working, and I just sort of forgot about my love of painting. After this moment, I got my brushes, my toolkit back together, and I began painting in the white room from my dreams, and I entered into one of the most creative periods of my life. I worked at scales that deliberately freaked me out. This is a huge photo scrim that they would use in a photo shoot, and you can see down there on the bottom, that's a table with my coffee cup. And when big started to get easy, I quickly moved to small. These are 100 self-portraits that I did as a part of the 100-day project, which is starting February 22nd. And for better and for worse, I shared all of it on social media. And a friend taught me a pro tip. He said, if you're ever going to share something kind of vulnerable that you're not so sure about, just get your cute, fluffy white dog, put it in front of the scary object. It makes it a lot easier. But today, what I really want to talk about with this group, with the spirit of this community, is this. This is the wall without any of the paintings on it. I think this is really the place that my dreams were leading me to. This was the place where I got to work things out, where I got to see what was going on really inside of me. This is the place my dreams led me back to, and the question that I think I was really grappling with at this moment was, how was I so surprised by something so essential, so intimate about myself? How did I not know it? And the deeper mystery is this. It's almost like some part of me knew me better than I knew myself. What is the part of us that remembers when we have forgotten? What a head scratcher. What is that part? And if remembering is so great, how do we do more of it? How do we remember more? I even love the word remember. You can think of the opposite being dismember, to take the body apart. Remembering is about remembering more of yourself. So I have spent the last 13 years in all kinds of wonderful ways exploring this question, but I'm not the first. I know I'm in a room of groovy people who have explored this in all kinds of ways. But today I just want to share 3 stories of people who you know who have also explored this question. The first one takes place in a castle. It's very dramatic and romantic. You can imagine like the quintessential castle with cliffs and a big violent storm with some, you know, kind of broody poet walking along the cliffs. And does anyone know who this is? I bet Jen knows. This is Rilke. He is at the Duino Castle, and he is walking along the cliffs. And as he's walking in wild nature, which we know a thing or two about, a voice comes to him on the wind. And the voice says, "Who, if I cried out, would hear me among the angels?" That is the first line of Rilke's Duino elegies. After that line arrived, he ran back to his room, or I don't know where he ran actually. He ran somewhere, and he wrote the entire first elegy in one fell swoop. But you don't have to be a dramatic poet, you know, capturing your book. You could also do something a little bit simpler, like go to a diner. You know, I think about going to Sandy's Diner and having, you know, a really nice lunch. My second story is about the filmmaker David Lynch. David Lynch would go to a diner. I don't think he went to Sandy's, but he would go to Big Boy in Los Angeles. And every day, yeah, that's right, every day at 2:30 he would go and he would have a chocolate milkshake. And he would sit there and he would dive into the hardest, juiciest, most troubling questions that he sat with as a filmmaker. And he did it because he was in a diner, because he could then return to his chocolate milkshake and the safety of this wonderful place. Listen to how he describes receiving the elements of his film, Blue Velvet. I quote, he said, "It would be great if the entire film came all at once, but it comes for me in fragments. In Blue Velvet, it was red lips, green lawns, and the song Bobby Vinton's version of Blue Velvet. The next thing was an ear lying in a field, and that was it." The third story I want to share with you about how to access more of it, I'll just call it it, the part of us that knows us better than we know ourselves, is for me a practice of holotropic breathwork. So I am an eternal student of Dr. Stanislav Grof and his late wife, Christina Grof. They founded holotropic breathwork at the Esalen Institute on the coast of California in the 1970s. And what they did was deceptively simple, very elegant. They combined rapid breathing with evocative music, and over about a 3-hour amount of time, breathers who are breathing in this way could experience profound states of non-ordinary states of consciousness. People could have all kinds of experiences. And a couple years ago, I had the opportunity to go to Denver and be in a room with 250 people breathing like this. Big ballroom, all these people, and half the group breathes while the other half sits for their breather. And at one moment, when I got to be a sitter for my breather who was on the mat in front of me, I looked up around the room and I just took it in. And do you know what I saw? I saw one guy weeping. I saw one woman laughing. I saw someone who I thought, how could they possibly be sleeping? The music is really loud. I looked around and I saw everything. I saw the whole range. And I thought, my gosh, this is what's really going on for people. When we're at, the grocery store, we're walking around, everything's fine, right? We know how to do that. But how often do we know how to do that? Fall apart all the way to our toes. It was messy. It was beautiful. It was real. But one word I want to underline, and that word is surprising. I was so surprised to see just the raw vulnerability of all these beautiful people. The word surprise is interesting. The etymology of the word surprise means to seize or to be seized. I love this idea that a surprise, rather than confirming what you already know, is bringing you new information from some new place. Could it be that a surprise is like a mile marker on the path? It's like a gift that you're given. It's something that says, hey, magic is afoot, antennas up. I think surprise tells us that we have left known territory. And this surprise, I think, is what I'm coming to appreciate about all of these practices, whether you experience surprise in the garden when you see something beautiful happening, or with your grandkids, or in the kitchen, or maybe you're a long-distance runner, or you throw pots at the donkey mill. However you experience surprise, there are so many doorways in to this place. And these surprises tend to be very life-giving and life-affirming. But they don't always feel like that, right? Sometimes we get surprised and we think, oh, I don't like that surprise. I think about Gloria Steinem. She said, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. And surprise is sometimes like that, right? The feeling of surprise is something arriving beyond what you can control. It's like, your software is getting a great upgrade. It's a chance to remember more of ourselves. And there's a neuroscientist who I love, David Eagleman, and he talks about this. He says, we are like fish challenged to understand water. Since the fish has never experienced anything else, it's almost impossible for it to see or conceive of the water. But a bubble rising past the inquisitive fish can offer a critical clue. When was the last time you saw a bubble? When was the last time you were surprised? What is your relationship with surprise? What is your attitude or your posture to it? And for myself, my own question is, how might I cultivate more of a posture of, what does he say? The inquisitive fish. You know, it's not the judgmental fish or the I don't want any fish. It's the inquisitive fish. How might I develop more of a posture of inquisition to allow more surprise into my life? So all the while that I've been out there, surfing the slipstream of all of these great questions with breathwork and painting and dreaming, I've also had a very fortunate, wonderful full-time job as a graphic designer in San Francisco in Silicon Valley. And one of my specialties as a graphic designer is I design a lot of the iPhone apps that you have on your iPhone. So at lunch, happy to answer any questions about how to use your phone. Just kidding, just kidding. But now a lot of the work that I get to do is working with artificial intelligence, and specifically designing positive futures of what we actually want with artificial intelligence. I think we need people who love rainbows and people and mist and morning on these big ships moving into new waters. We need that big time. But after my last project ended about 5 months ago, I had a long break between my next project, and I've learned that sabbatical is a great term. Anytime you have a break, don't tell people I have a break. Tell them, oh, I'm going on sabbatical. So I decided to take this sabbatical to dive more into my paintings and my breathwork, because we have a big retreat coming up the first weekend in March here. And so I decided to take the time off, and I got my trusty little notebook and I opened up the first page and I wrote this: sabbatical, from the Hebrew Shabbat, meaning to cease, to rest, fallow fields, trust, deliberate not doing. I had no idea that's what sabbatical meant. I've used that word a lot through my life. I had no idea. That's the very first page of the book. And I decided that if I was going to swim far from shore, I wanted to circle some date on the calendar of when I had to come back. So January 11th, that's today, that was the date I circled. And Pasha, when we began talking about a date for this talk, I thought, oh, that's a good mile marker. I can swim back to shore on January 11th. And I would come and report on everything I learned as a way of holding myself accountable. Not to mention, I knew that my father and my mother were coming all the way to Hawaii from Texas, so I thought this would be a real treat, which it is, to have you both here. Thanks for being here. But I'll cut a long story short. Nothing about my sabbatical went as I had designed it. You're laughing. You saw this coming. The last few months since my sabbatical started have been filled with unbelievable twists and turns. It has been a strange, surreal string of family medical emergencies, one after the other. Sadly, somebody very close to me died, and it was the first time I saw a person leave their body. After that, someone very close to me got sick, and then recovered, and then got sick again, and then recovered. And then, on top of all of that, our kitty cat got into a big accident, and she's fine now. I found myself on yet another kind of emergency plane flight. At 30,000 feet, I was the woman glued to my phone for like the full, 4.5 hours from San Francisco. On my phone the whole time, talking to my AI Claude, asking Claude to define every single medical term and translate every single thing all the doctors were saying in that period. And one day, my partner and I were swimming laps in the pool. I was so moved by what happened. I made this little animation about it. We were swimming laps in the pool, and I saw the lane dividers begin to go away. And on my first lap, it just looked like a worm. I thought, what's happened with these lane dividers? And on my second lap, I looked up and I saw the lifeguard pulling in the dividers. And I knew that the pool was closing. And so he was, trying to do his job and clear out the swimmers. But as I was swimming without the lane dividers, I looked to my right and there was this guy swimming and he was making all these big waves. Even though I was in the pool, it was like 4 feet deep. There was still a line on the bottom of the pool. I just felt totally lost. It was like I lost my swim lane, but not just while we were swimming laps. I felt like I was losing my swim lane in life. With everything going on in our family, I was losing all of my reference points. Maybe you know of a moment like this, where everything suddenly looks very different. Dare I say I was surprised. So here I was, kind of going from a space that was contained and known to something that was overwhelming and wavy and very vast. And I couldn't help but wonder, was this one of those moments where something was reaching for me? And I thought, if this is it, I don't want any. Send it back. I do not like any of this. I didn't know how to orient myself. I was looking for something, anything to hold on to, and so I did what any person would do when faced with life's largest, most sacred and important questions. I picked up my iPhone and I asked my AI. You're all laughing. It's very laughable in retrospect. And I have to say, in that moment, I was in pain and I didn't want to feel it. I wanted it to be easy. I wanted my AI to give me the answer very quickly. And I wanted to think my way through it so I didn't have to feel anything. So I asked my supercomputer, I said, hey, Claude, I just don't understand. Why are we born? And then we have to learn how to love ourselves, which is quite a task. And then we have to learn how to love other people, which is hard. And then once we maybe get somewhat good at all of that, we have to learn how to let it all go. This sucks. I hate this. Why is it like this? In that moment, I think I kind of knew. I was asking my AI the kind of questions that I would normally take into meditation or painting or the dream world, breath work. But the only thing that was worse than the fact that I was asking this question of my iPhone was that my AI gave me an answer. And this was it. It's technically very accurate. My AI is very smart. But the answer is bloodless. And when I read this answer, I just felt kind of sick in my stomach. So this is when something really surprised me. This was the big surprise. I actually really didn't want an answer. And I don't know if I knew that. I didn't really want it. Because AI, I work on these incredible teams, brilliant people. You would be thrilled if you could meet some of the people working on artificial intelligence. There's so much scary about it, but there's a lot to look forward to. And beautiful people are working on it, and I know that that AI can give me an answer in 0.3 seconds, and I can have everything that I need right there in my pocket. But some loving, wiser part of me was reaching for me, was looking for me. That part of me knew that I didn't want to move at the speed of a machine. Maybe I wanted to move at the speed of life. Of human life, of a life in nature. Wow. So Pasha, when you emailed me and asked me the title of my talk, I totally fell apart. I thought, oh my gosh, all these nice people are coming to New Thought and I am giving this talk and my parents are flying in and no pressure, but I really have got to give them some answers of what I have figured out. What have I done? Have I learned anything? Is any of this useful? No, I didn't learn anything important, nothing at all. I had a total panic attack. I didn't have a panic. I totally was worried. I go back to my notes and I picked up my journal to look for a kernel of anything I might have written down. And I went back to the first page and I just began to laugh. Sabbatical. I wrote on the very first day that I wanted my sabbatical to be about deliberate emptiness, deliberate not doing. And that's what I got. That's what happened. We don't know each other very well, but I'm really good at making things happen. I can make just about anything happen with a couple thoughts. I tried really hard to make a creative sabbatical happen, and it didn't. It didn't happen at all. What a cosmic joke. What part of me knew that I needed nothing more than I did? And I began to wonder, maybe I'm at a point in my life where a new way of being is starting to emerge. And I thought I would come and talk about that. One of my favorite churches, I haven't gotten to go yet, but it's in Osaka, Japan. And it's a church designed by Taudo Ando. And the church is made entirely of cement, big, thick, opaque cement. But in the back of the church, there's a beautiful cross. It's beautiful. I'm going to show you a photo. It's gorgeous. But the church, the cross that's in the back isn't something that they made and hung on the wall. It's a cross made of deliberate emptiness. A cross made of deliberate not doing. And in these big gaps in the cement, the light pours through. The writer, the Buddhist scholar Pema Chodron, she talks about this place and she uses a word, bodhicitta, which is new to me, and I looked it up. Citta means mind and also heart, or even attitude. And bodhi means awake or open. And sometimes the open heart and open mind of bodhicitta is called, and I quote from her book, the soft spot. The place as vulnerable and tender as an open wound. It is equated in part with our ability to love. I began to wonder, maybe if all of the non-doing, maybe all of the questions, the gaps, the letting be, is just a way to let more light through, a way to let there be more love in my life. And after putting together this talk, sitting down, putting together these slides, I started to realize that even though there are many answers that I find compelling, maybe I'm also beginning to realize the value of a really good question. And maybe I'm going to start holding them just a little bit tighter, to not just, give them away to my phone. Not let AI fiddle with all of them. So I would love to close today with a favorite poem. The poem is by Mary Oliver. And afterwards, I don't think we'll have time for questions, but I'll be over there by my books if you have anything you'd like to share. Roses by Mary Oliver. Everyone now and again wonders about those questions that have no ready answers. First cause, God's existence. What happens when the curtain goes down and nothing stops it? Not kissing, not going to the mall, not the Super Bowl. Wild roses, I said one morning. Do you have the answers? And if you do, would you tell me? The roses, they laughed softly. Forgive us, they said. But as you can see, we are just now entirely busy being roses. Thank you.
Wow, I hate to break that. Moment feels so rich, really rich, in our emptiness as we fill up our lives with so much essence and knowing and not knowing, and what a deep, deep gift. Thank you. And the authenticity of your share was really, really loving for all of us. Thank you for sharing your life with us. I'm sure many of us have gone through similar situations of emptiness. So now we get to share our gratitude with the New Thought Center by passing around this koa bowl that represents the community pooling its resources to make things like this possible. And so I will pass this around, and Sakshi, if you'd be willing to play something for us while we pass the bowl around, give as you like, so that we can continue to be the New Thought Center. Thank you.
Little song that kind of carries the same energy. Thank you. That was beautiful, very powerful. Thank you. I loved it. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy way of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy angel of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy way of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I am the light within your soul, in the essence of truth and right. Love makes the circle whole. And here we stand in line, waiting for some sacred sign. But to find the balance is the purpose of this time. To restore the balance of the universal mind. I sense your presence. I sense your presence. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy way of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy angel of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I sense your presence. Within and without, above and below, yeah, yeah. East, west, north, and south, I sense your presence. Without and within, below and above, yeah, yeah. East, west, north, and south, I sense your presence. I sense your presence. Everyone. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy way glory of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. Om Shabbat Shalom, holy angel of the Most High. Om Shabbat Shalom, I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I sense your presence. I sense your presence.
Thank you, Sakshi. Wow. We are transported, and now we're going to share a few announcements, and we'll start with you, Elle Luna. Would you like to share any announcements with us that we can interact with you more in the future?
Yes, this Friday, Jen Leidy and I have a storytelling event. It will be the story of Iron John. And afterwards, we will be doing sand trays. For anyone who hasn't done a sand tray, it'll be a great evening. And you can sign up at jenniferleidy.com. And the other thing is over on the table, we have the Groff lineage is hosting a team of us is hosting a breathwork weekend at the Outrigger Hotel the first weekend in March. So if you want to get on the mat and let it rip, come join us, and you can get more information. Take one of the flyers with you.
Thank you. And of course, we will also have lunch with Elle and her family today, if they're willing to stay with us that long. And that will be, we're going to try to get into the Rebel Kitchen, depending on how many of us come, because their food is amazing. And if for any reason there's so many of us that we can't, our backup is going to be the corner pocket, because there's a lanai there, a quiet lanai with big tables. So just so you know, in case. And we'll take a raise of hands right now, just so we have an idea of how many of us are planning to go. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's 12. Oh, it's almost, magical numbers happening today. Okay, so that helps us answer that question. Is there somebody who's willing to call or reach out to the Rebel Kitchen and ask if thank you, Pasha, as always. Okay, so we also have an amazing prayer basket and prayer opportunity here. If you have any prayer requests, there's a beautiful wooden confidential box, except that the prayer team once a week takes out the prayers and starts to pray for you for the week. So if there's something you want to put in there, feel free to do so. It's very powerful. And again, it's confidential except for the prayer people. And if you have someone you want to pray for, before you put their personal information in there, please ask their permission. Okay, so let's talk about every Sunday. We are here with people, extraordinary people, as I mentioned before, different persons every week. So if you love to hear amazing wisdom from all over the world, or if you have something to share, talk to Pasha. So we do this also in live stream. So we've recorded this today, and it's been live to those people who couldn't make it. So if you can't come on a Sunday morning, please feel free just to tune in on live stream. We also have free childcare, but we need you to let us know that you're bringing children so that we can have someone here to care for them. Next 3 Sundays. Next week, I'm going to be speaking about a new book I've written, and it's a visionary guide to the rise of cooperative culture. So if you'd like to come hear about hope for the future, I'm excited to share that with you. The next week, after that, the 25th, is going to be Sheila Galian, A Soft Doorway to a Sanctuary Within. And the music's going to be Jean-Pierre Thomas. And then on the 1st February is Anna Gansel, Staying in Tune with Our Soul Dance to Live Our Deepest Joy. And the music, of course, by Jean Love. How perfect is that? We also have Tai Chi here in this beautiful outdoor area every Monday at 4:30. It's $15 a class, and it's by a total Tai Chi master. I have been. It's extraordinary. Wellness Wednesdays from 4 to 5, starting on the 21st of this month. Something about see special events. Where do we see special events? On the other side, okay. End of the month potluck. My other favorite time to come is potluck. So we all bring something yummy on the fourth Sunday of every month, and it will be on the 25th this month. So feel free to bring some food with you next time, or no, 2 times from now. We, like this morning, the second Sunday of every month, have a crystal bowl meditation, so we can drop into a really beautiful musical realm of experience. Here are the special events. Okay, so this Sunday, today, we have a vision boarding. Create a vision board with Ramona, and there's a sign-up sheet on this blue table up front. It starts at 1 o'clock today if you'd like to do your annual vision boarding with one of the most creative people here, Ramona. She is going to be hosting that from 1 to 3. She's providing basic materials, and it's by donation if you'd like to make a donation. On Wednesday, 2 weeks from now, we have a special program to thank and release the 2025 and set intentions for 2026. We're going to have Reiki, meditation, and mantras with Star Root in the Honua room, and it's a $20 suggested donation right here. And then Sunday the 25th, that's the potluck Sunday I was telling you about, Sheila Galian is giving a workshop called New Year's Inner Child Immersive, and it's a 3-hour workshop right here with a love offering. And then Sunday, on February 1st, we have Anna, who's also the speaker, giving a workshop. It's called Our Secret Gardens, Revisit, Reimagine, Rediscover the Magic Within. And then you have an invitation here. Submit your prayer requests. We talked about that. Yay. And then also, if you're not on our mailing list to know who's speaking next week, please get on our mailing list. And you can write your information down on this table here. We'll add you to the mailing list. Or you can just go to newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com. And that's where you'll also see videos of all the past Sundays. We saved them there so that you can watch all the previous presentations, which have been also extraordinary. So those are the announcements, and now we have a closing song for the Hawaii Aloha. If you don't know the words, they're up here, and we all stand up, hold hands, and if our beautiful musician can help us. Yes, please.
On Tuesday, January 27th, at Hawaiian Queen Coffee Gardens, which is in Kona on Henry Street, Dayamrita Puri Swami, who is one of the main swamis from Amma's entourage. Amma is the hugging saint. She has the Guinness Book World Record of the most hugs in the world, and she's an amazing soul. And one of her leading swamis is coming to the island to do a presentation, a lecture. There will be lecture, kirtan, meditation, bhajans, and Tony and Palmer are going to be hosting him at their home, and then we're all going to celebrate and have them at the Hawaiian Queen Coffee Gardens, Henry Street, January 27th, which is also my birthday. So let's go. I hope to see you all there. Yes. That'll be, I think, 6 to 8, yeah.
It'd be great if one of you could post a flyer on the
Yeah, we'll definitely have a flyer for sure. We'll have that soon. With a picture of Amma too, yes. Okay, yes, absolutely. We'll get that to you.